Middleclass savagery, watch the trailer for The Party. Sally Potter, 2017, UK 71 minutes. This sharp chamber piece could almost be a lost 1960s play, with its old-school theatricality and middle-class savagery. Kristen Scott Thomas plays a politician whose promotion celebration is upstaged by the revelations of her husband Timothy Spall and guests including Patricia Clarkson, Cillian Murphy, Cherry Jones and Emily Mortimer. Oh, and there's a gun. 2. The Meyerowitz Stories New and Selected 15. Noah Baumbach, 2017, US 112 minutes. Witty and warm, watch the trailer for The Meyerowitz Stories New and Selected. Familiar territory here, in a Woody Allen meets Royal Tenenbaums way, as we visit another cultured New York family with the patriarch Dustin Hoffman and his messed up kids Ben Stiller, Adam Sandler, Elizabeth Marvel. The plot isn't as inevitable as expected, and there's enough wit and warmth to justify the exercise. Stiller, in particular, is a revelation. 3. Blade Runner 2049 15. Denis Villeneuve 2017, UK 163 minutes. Spectacular, watch the trailer for Blade Runner 2049. Back to the Future with a slow and spectacular sci-fi that honors its predecessor without replicating it. Ryan Gosling is our lonely sleuth, following a thread that threatens to unravel the slave-based dystopia, or at least bring Harrison Ford out of retirement. 4. The Ornithologist and João Pedro Rodrigues, 2016, Por Fabra 118 minutes. Wildlife, watch the trailer for The Ornithologist. A journey into surrealism, gay erotica and biblical allegory, not far from Wirasathacal, Pasolini or Jodorowsky. A bird watcher is in the wilds of Portugal and encounters everyone from sadistic Chinese pilgrims to a handsome shepherd called Jesus. 5. Boy 15. Taika Waititi, 2010, NZ 88 minutes. Touching and hilarious, watch the trailer for Boy. Yeah, we'll be hearing a lot more about Waititi when Thor Ragnarok comes out, but this, his feature debut, is more in the fashion of his Hunt for the Wilder People, unpretentious and often dryly hilarious, but touching, too. It's centered on a Michael Jackson-loving 1980s Maori kid. Boy is actually his name, reconnecting with his supposedly gangster father played by Waititi himself. Senior. 5. Of the best pop and rock gigs. Weapon of mass seduction. St. Vincent. Photograph Netta off First Vincent. After going full cook on 2014 St. Vincent album, Annie Clark has ratcheted through the art pop gears for this month's Jack Antonoff-produced Mass Seduction, setting the album in a visual world of clean lines, neon pink PVC and glossy surrealism. Expect the unexpected, basically. London, the 17th of October. Manchester, the 18th of October. Dublin, the 20th of October. Touring the 21 October. 2nd. Future croaky rapper Navadius Damon Wilburn, aka Future, has had a pretty busy 2017. As well as releasing 2 albums back-to-back, both US no ones. Incidentally, he also created one of this year's many meme-ready hip-hop anthems in the shape of the darkly brooding Mask Off. Manchester Academy, the 20th of October. Touring to 23 October. 3rd. The Breeders initially started as a side project for Kim Deal while her main employers the Pixies were on hiatus. The Breeders are rightfully now Deal's main focus. To prove her commitment, she's got the original Last Splasher band back together, with recent single Wait in the Car, the lineup's first new offering since 1993, a playful reminder of their skewed majesty. Glasgow, the 15th of October. Dublin, the 16th of October. Manchester, the 17th of October. London, 18 October. 4th. Zara Larsson. While this year's patchy international debut, So Good, couldn't quite live up to that title, 19-year-old Swedish pop star Zara Larsson remains roughly 1,000 times more interesting than most of the beige boars that pepper the musical landscape. Expect a lorry load of attitude and impeccable sass. Belfast, the 15th of October. Dublin, the 16th of October. Glasgow, the 18th of October. Newcastle upon Tyne, the 19th of October. Touring to 28 October. 5th. Ibai, French-Cuban twin sisters Lisa Kende Diaz and Naomi Diash recently released second album. Ash continues their open-mindedness when it comes to genre definitions, but offers a more focused lyrical palette, tackling spirituality, activism and racism. Bristol, the 18th of October. London, the 19th of October. Manchester, the 20th of October. MC4 of the best classical concerts. Pole position. Jennifer Pike. Photograph Tom Barnes. 1 Polish Music Day. Violinist Jennifer Pike leads a day of concerts exploring 5 centuries of Polish instrumental and chamber music. Pike kicks things off with Penderecki's Capriccio for solo violin. Later there are works by Lutoslawski and Szymanowski, Wieniawski and Chopin, as well as recent pieces by Miko Lajgoretsky and Paulina Zalubska. Wigmore Hall, W1, 14 October 2. Jeremy Denk. U.S. pianist Jeremy Denk is artist-in-residence at Milton Court this season, and the centerpiece of his first group of appearances is an all-day triptych of themed concerts. There's a morning sequence about death, and an afternoon one concerned with keyboard virtuosity, while the evening has variations about heartbreak and hope. Milton Court, Guildhall School of Music, EC2, 15 October 3. Wexford Opera Festival. Wexford has built its reputation on staging forgotten operas, but its 2017 season opened with virtually a repertory piece, Cherubinus Medea, directed by Fiona Shaw, with Lise Davidson as the tragic protagonist. The other featured works are genuine rarities, the Jacopo Foronis Margherita, and Risorezzioni by Franco Alfano. National Opera House, Wexford, the 19th of October to 5 November 4. Mellow Sinfonia, written on skin. George Benjamin's opera has led a charmed life since its debut in 2012, with performances at Covent Garden, the Metropolitan Opera and beyond. Here, though, is another take, a touring production directed by Jack Furness, with Oliver Zeffman conducting the Mellow Sinfonia. West Road Concert Hall, Cambridge, the 19th of October. LSO Street, Luke's, EC1, the 20th of October. AC5 of the Best Exhibitions, The Last Days of Soviet Utopia. Ilya and Amelia Kabakov's The Appearance of Collage 10 2012. Photograph Carrie Ryan McFate Pace Gallery. Ilya and Amelia Kabakov 1. Ilya and Amelia Kabakov. The Kabakovs have created some of the most poetic and captivating installations ever. Perhaps there is a special Russian affinity for this art. The spiraling interiors of Russian churches are echoed by the Kabakovs' fascinating spaces. Yet Ilya began his career designing dreams on paper while he worked as a children's illustrator. 100 years after the October Revolution, this is a fascinating view of the last days of the Soviet utopia and its aftermath in the imagination. Tate Modern, SE1, the 18th of October to 28 January 2. Soutine's portraits. The expressionist portraits of Chaim Soutine stick out like a sore, slightly septic thumb among the abstract paintings, Art Deco interiors and surrealist stunts of Paris between the wars. The paintings here look behind the high life of cafes and grand hotels, at bellboys and kitchen staff. Soutine's anti-glamorous portraits are the visual equivalent of George Orwell's account of the city's underside and down and out in Paris and London. The Courtauld Institute of Art, WC2, the 19th of October to 21 January 3. Rebecca Warren. Where does the human body fit into modern sculpture? Is it something to depict or something to evoke? Sensually, Warren offers provocative answers to such questions as she explores the erotic, organic and abstract and highly original forms that knowingly parody French Rococo porcelain to Brancusi and bourgeois. A slobbering, molten carnality pervades everything this gutsy artist makes. Tate. St. Ives, the 14th of October to 7 January 4. Wim Wenders Polaroids. The films of Wim Wenders are cool yet poetic chronicles of changing times, with his masterpiece Wings of Desire preserving the look and mood of Berlin before the Wendy. His Polaroids have the same poignant perceptiveness. These prodigital instant photographs constitute a visual diary of life and art in the 1970s and 80s and have been put on show by the director with a sense of nostalgia and the mystery of memory. The Photographer's Gallery, W1, the 20th of October to 11 February 5. Susan Phillips, one of the most convincing Turner Prize winners of recent years, unveils a new sound work inspired by Carl Burger Blomdahl's 1959 sci-fi opera Aniara. Would-be travelers to Mars have become stranded in space. Their pleading voices drift through the gallery from multiple speakers, in what promises to be a haunting evocation of a rootless world with no direction home. The artist also pays homage to David Bowie and sings the Internationale. Baltic, Gateshead, the 20th of October to the 4th of March. JJ5 of the Best Theatre Shows. Seuss Company. The Lorax returns to the Old Vic. Photograph Tristram Kenton for The Guardian. 1. Dr. Seuss. The Lorax. Max Webster's deliciously inventive staging of David Gregg's stage adaptation of Dr. Seuss' environmental fable was first seen at London's Old Vic in 2015. Michael Billington hailed it as the best family show since Matilda. Now it returns for another run, with Charlie Fink's tuneful score, Gregg's facility with rhyming couplets and some magical puppetry making it a surefire hit with junior ego warriors and their parents, too. Old Vic, SE1, the 15th of October to 5 November 2. Horizontal collaboration. Someone Has Been Telling Lies About Judith K. is the Kafkaesque beginning of David Letty's play about truth and perception. The audience must play jury in a chamber piece that draws on the biblical story of Judith, who enters the Assyrian general Holofernes' tent and cuts off his head. The play takes place during a UN tribunal considering war crimes in an unnamed African country, gnawing away at the truth to present a powerful portrait of power abused. St. Andrews, the 14th of October Lockerbie, the 17th of October Thornhill, the 18th of October Musselburgh, the 20th of October Touring to 5 November 3rd Golem. If you have not caught 1927's delicious show about the relationship between humankind and machines, then you should do so before it's too late. This vivid mix of animation, live action and music is a parable for our times, particularly as predictions grow for the number of jobs that will eventually be automated. There is nothing Luddite about either the sentiment or the stagecraft in an evening of real satiric wit. Liverpool Playhouse, 1821 October 4th. Hare first seen at the thriving Hope Mill in Manchester in 2016. Jonathan O'Boyle's revival of the 1967 musical is rough and ready, but like the show itself, it has a sweetness and a rough charm. The Underground Vaults should be the ideal London venue for a piece that really doesn't make much narrative sense but boasts some terrific songs, and is here performed by an engaging ensemble of youngsters who make you want to join in and dance. The Vaults, SE 1-13 January 5th. Jane Eyre. It is your very last chance for Sally Cookson's passionate staging of Charlotte Bronte's much-loved novel, which has returned to the NT for one last bow. This is an evening full of theatrical invention and one that proves that it is possible to be true to the spirit of a novel without being in the slightest bit literary. It's also a show that demonstrates that page-tostage adaptation doesn't have to be theater's poor cousin. National Theatre Littleton, SE 1-21 October. LG 3 of the best dance shows fitting tribute. Sarah Lamb in the Royal Ballet's production of Elite Syncopations, choreographed by Kenneth Macmillan. Photograph. Johan Persson. Royal Opera House 1. Kenneth Macmillan. A national celebration. Britain's leading classical companies including the Royal Ballet pay tribute to the great choreographer 25 years after his death. Includes the rarely seen Baiser de la FEAQD. Royal Opera House, WC2, the 18th of October to 2 November 2nd. Aditi Mangal as Inter_Rupted. The Catholic choreographer performs alongside her own company in her experimental piece, exploring notions of fragility and transience. Tramway, Glasgow, 2021 October 3rd. Lyon Opera Ballet Tros Grandes Fugues. The choreographic trio of Lucinda Childs, Anne-Teresa de Keersmacher and Maggie Marin respond to Beethoven's Grande Fugue in their own distinctive styles. Sadler's Wells, EC 1, 1920 October. J.M.